Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Diana if you're new here, and I have a brand new series. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we're just going to go with the flow. And it's motivation, right? We are here to cheer each other up. Well, I'm here to cheer you on and cheer myself on as well, of course. And in the comment section, I would love for it to be a space of positive encouragement and all of those stuff. So that's where this series is sort of going. Well, that's where I want it to go. So yes, we're going to get into that. And with this, where I am starting off, or my focus, my topics, excuse me, my topics are basically going to be based off of a quote. And so with this quote, I will elaborate a little bit more on what this is possibly saying and meaning, and how to actually get you to that level where that quote makes more sense, if that makes sense. This is the very first episode, so let's go right into it. Today's quote is, I can't really read my handwriting of that. It's tiny. Attitude is a little thing that makes a huge difference. Well, a big difference. And I definitely believe that that is completely true. Your attitude sort of determines how you're going to feel and what you're going to take on. So let's say, for instance, you wake up with a bad attitude, right? Things are just down south, you're in a negative space. And so with that, what is going to happen is that you are going to actually start thinking negative thoughts. You are going to start thinking of all the bad things that are going to happen in that day. You're going to kind of sort of relive whatever negative situation happened the other day or yesterday or something like that, and you're going to replay it in your mind. And the more you replay it, that negative attitude is just going to be more prominent in today. And we don't want that, right? We don't want that. Negative attitudes just literally, they don't get you anywhere far. Right? You end up staying in the same spot that you've been. You end up being miserable. You end up ruining the other person's day. You end up ruining your own day. And so your attitude is definitely going to make a difference in your life, in your day-to-day, in someone else's life, in someone else's environment. How you move about in your day, how you move about in your life, how you move about with who you are. I'm not saying that a negative attitude is like the worst thing ever on earth. It's not, but it's not the best. Right? And it's not that you can't have a bad day. You absolutely can, because sometimes bad days come without your permission, right? Things just spiral down, and then suddenly you're just thinking to yourself, this is not good, right? And if it's not good, then you just, again, you're spiraling in your head with the negativity. However, if you woke up with a more positive attitude, right, you have a better chance of living out a more fulfilled life on that day. You truly do, because if you're thinking more positively, that if something negative was to come your way, you have a better mindset on how you're going to handle it. You're more likely to think slightly different than if you had a negative day or a negative attitude. And so with a positive attitude, you kind of prepare better, you think better, you think about what you really want to do and how you want to succeed in that little area of your day or your life. And with a positive attitude, you're more likely to move forward, you're more likely to make your mountain move, you're more likely to make things happen in your life, as opposed to when you have a negative attitude. If you have a negative attitude, yes, you will be miserable and you will pile on, and that mountain will not move. You don't want that, right? I don't want that for my life, I know for sure. And also, if bad things were to happen, if you have a positive or a better attitude towards life, you're more likely to make a negative situation turn into a more positive situation. Let me see, there was, what instance did I have? I had a specific instance, I can't quite remember right now, but it was funny. It was not funny, it was bad. It was really, really bad. Things just went down, right? I am putting all of the things in alignment and doing the thing that I have to do, and then everything just falls apart, literally falls apart. And then you know what happens? Well, I think to myself, okay, there's no way that this could have happened. There's just no way, right? There's just no way this could have happened. And so I return to whatever situation I was in and try to redo that, and it completely shatters. Completely. Now, I did not have negative emotion inside of me. I actually did not know what to do, because I could not believe that something bad had just happened within a 30-minute time span. Within a 30-minute time span. I was in shock. And the only thing I could think of, the only thing I could really truly think of is that this is funny. I started to laugh because honestly, that's all I could do, because I had never seen something happen back to back so quickly in my life like that. Negatively, that's not what happens. Usually it will go 3 days later, maybe a year later, maybe a month later, maybe a few days later, but not back to back within a short amount of time. And so yeah, it was bad, really, really bad. So I couldn't help but laugh, and I had to laugh because it was absolutely funny that I could not believe this happened. And so I was just thinking to myself, okay, perhaps God is being funny. Is this what people mean when they say God is funny? Because honestly, I did not know. I never really knew what that meant. Like, what do you mean God is funny? And then I started to think to myself, well, there's this little book in the Bible. It's not little, it's a pretty prominent book called Job. And a man just loses everything in his life, his family, his wealth, his everything, right? In a pretty short time span, based on what how the book is written out. It seemed like it was a pretty short time span. And he remains positive at some point, and then you know he kind of spirals back, but then he goes back into a better attitude. But it made me think about that, because I was thinking to myself, man, how can you really go think positively? And the reality is that because I have a better attitude towards my future, let's just say that I have a better attitude about a future outcome, that I can't truly dwell in this. Sure, I could cry about it. Sure, I could get angry, but those feelings only keep me lower. Those feelings only make me just crunch together, and then I no longer want to do anything. I don't feel motivated anymore, and I don't want to do anything about my situation. But instead, with a more better attitude and thinking about like the good that's going to come forward, you know for a fact that there is something you should start doing now to make sure that whatever just happened does not happen again. You have a better attitude knowing that, well, if your future is seen as something grander and something better, then that means that whatever you just did, whatever just happened for whatever reason, but because you have a better attitude about your future, you're more likely to do something better or something different, or just something about what just happened, so that you could still be closer to that future that you have seen, right? So yes, your attitude makes a big difference. Had I dwelled on what had happened, I probably would not be making this video. Honestly, because I have just not had motivation to actually make videos. But when that happened, I thought to myself, my goodness, I need to get back. I need to get back into doing the things that I truly enjoy doing, so that I can just keep this motivation going, right? So that I could just keep my fire burning inside of me. And so here I am, starting all over again with the content. But all to say is that a positive attitude will get you to start moving forward towards the things that you want to do, the things that you want to accomplish, the way that you want your life to kind of pan out. Because with a negative attitude, you're really putting yourself in the back, or you're just staying stagnant. And we're not here for that. Because if you have dreams, if you have goals, if you have a vibrant life, you want to attain it, you want to obtain that, you want to get there, you don't want to be back there. I don't. And so fix your attitude, change your attitude, create a better attitude, so that you're moving in alignment with your life. Alright, my friends, that's it for today's video. And yeah, be sure to subscribe if you have not yet, and let's keep this going. We want to be motivated. This year's 2025. It's basically almost mid-year, but don't mind my accents. They come, they go, they're here, they're there, whatever, you know. So just let's get this going. Let us just stay in that motivation bubble. Let us pump ourselves up, and let's just rock out this year. Let's make this year better, no matter the circumstances that are coming our way, because they are going to come. But anyways, an attitude that creates the outcome that you want is what you need. So keep a positive attitude so that you can move forward. With that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.